You got yourself some new shoes? Well, then you got a nice new box. But what you gotta do with your new shoes, once you get them, is you gotta take out the inserts. These guys. And replace them with something that actually works. So I got some Dr. Scholl's here. And we're gonna cut out the Dr. Scholl's to fit your inserts. Alright, the first thing I want to point out, this is really, really cheap stuff. This is the insert that came with my shoe. And this was already out when I took them out of my shoe. So having these replaced is always a good thing. These are always going to be cheaper. They're going to be crushed almost immediately. They offer like no cushion. This one is a little bit memory foam. You can choose whatever inserts, but like just change it to anything else. I like to get the work boot style, and that has served me really well. I did that when I hiked the Appalachian Trail. I did that when I had leather-soled shoes, and because I had like 4 hours on leather-soled shoes killed me. And then I put these in there, and then I've done that ever since, and I just love them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these nice handy little snips, and these are like metal cutting snips, so they're really nice. And the reason I have those is because I want to be able to cut into this rubber. This rubber is very tough, like it's gummy. Ordinary scissors, you could probably do it. You could probably do it with like fabric scissors, but you gotta be careful with your fabric scissors. They get dull, or you have to protect your fabric scissors. And basically you fill the cup in here, you line it up with the left and the right with the right. And it says a line on here. And that's kind of like a suggestion, but the best way to do it is to take the inserts, because the inserts fit your boot. And a smart way to do this would be to take a pen or marker and to trace it out and then cut it out, but I don't like to do that. I like to be dangerous. I'm not a smart man when it comes to doing things that are planned out. Alright. And then there's two important things with cutting it. You want to cut larger than it to begin with, and then when you cut it a second time, you want to cut it at an angle. And that's to make it fit in the shoe better. And I'll show you what that means in a minute. But first we're going to get the rough outline of this. We're just cutting around the edge. And there will be adjustment that needs to be made later. And then we can put this on top of that and see how it lines up. This is probably a lot larger than it needs to be right now. And we'll find out how it looks when we put it inside the boot itself. So I'm going to line it up again. Yeah, there's a lot of excess on here. Clean this up a little. And Dr. Scholl's aren't too expensive. Like when these wear out eventually, so it's always a good idea to keep the original inserts around so you can remeasure it. That looks a lot better. Now there's a second thing you want to do, is you want to not cut, you don't want to cut it lengthwise. You want to cut it at an angle, so you're just kind of like shearing off just a little bit of this. And that's just to make it fit better in your boot, your shoe, your whatever. And you're just trimming the corner off of it so that it lays more flush around the edges. And this could take you 2 or 3 times, depending. Now that we have a rough outline of what this is going to be at the end. We're going to try it inside the shoe itself. So the first check to see if this will actually work is you just put it inside. A good way to get this inside is probably to put it heel first and then just kind of like roll it out like that inside the shoe. So I'm going to do that because I was doing it in a kind of harder way to do this. And you just get your fingers all the way in there and you kind of like try to just feel it out. Make sure that there's no stupid things. No, like if there's too much in there, you'll know like almost immediately. But you try your boot on to see if it works. Alright, the first boot looks pretty good. It feels pretty good. I'm wearing it right now. So I want to show you what happens to these Dr. Scholl's after a while. So when it starts getting like this, when this fabric starts peeling up, that's the time when you want to replace them. Here's an old cut that I did. It's not perfect. You can see how I cut along the thing, and then like I went back and redid it a little bit and to fit the boot a little better. So it's touch and go, and like yeah, they wear out, but it also adds a lot of life to your boot. So I still wear these. These are comfortable like an old leather mitt, but they do get worn down, and that's the time to replace your boots. It's just, you can't replace these as easily as the inserts, but they do add a lot of life to your boot.
One more thing to be said about inserts and boots is if you're buying boots for the first time, buying shoes for the first time, and you want to put inserts in them, it's always good to have your previous shoes inserts to try out new boots, because you don't know if it's going to fit. If it's the same make and model, like the ones I just showed you, that's perfectly fine. You know what's going to work. You know your foot's going to fit in there. Then yeah, you're good to go. But like when you're trying out new boots, always try inserts that you have in your shoes already if you're going to add new ones to it, because that can like add a thickness that you're not ready for. Well, I hope that helped you out sometime. All right, have a wonderful day.